You're listening to a show on the Planet Film podcast feed. Hello! All right, and welcome to the main show. Welcome back to Planet Film. Lucky episode 13. We're going to try and go off without a hitch here. It's just me and TJ going this week. But we got a good show for you guys today. We have for the second time on the podcast, a new movie to review, which is great. I'll just say again, my name is Sean Monk.
I'm TJ Cornwell.
And this is the Planet Film Podcast. All right, so welcome, one and all. Anybody watching in the internet sphere. So we are just going to kick things off today with, just checking in on each other. It's been, kind of a hectic few weeks for both of us. As in past podcasts, we talked about TJ just moved, and I now officially have an apartment that I'm moving into for middle of September. So as you can see, the walls behind me are completely bare, and all my shelving is gone. I'm actively packing and stuff. Got a nice break from packing to get ready for the podcast today, at least. So I spent a couple hours getting all that going. What have you been up to? How have you been doing this week? Any exciting developments or news in TJ land?
No. I've been watching I watched a few things actually. If I can pull my list here real quick, I forget sometimes.
Yeah, let me pull
I watched Boyhood the other day with Danielle for the first time.
First time seen it? Okay.
Yeah, never seen it before. I watched Manhattan, as I told you. I don't really like Woody Allen, for a multitude of reasons. And again, I think I told you that when I was watching or going to the movie, I didn't know that he was dating a 17-year-old in the movie, so I thought that was very creepy and stupid and odd. I watched The Town the other day, and then I watched Heat. I had never seen those either.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. I was waiting for he's obviously kind of playing it up almost in a way. I know that's what Michael Mann wanted when he was directing him in the movie.
Yeah.
But there's some of the scenes I just had to laugh because he's so over the top.
Don't mind if I do.
Exactly. I did just listen. Am I sounding okay to you?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay, because we gotta figure this out or at least I have to figure it out. Because if you pull up, I don't know if you want to do it real quick. If you listen to me on the feed, like YouTube or Twitch, I sound like a garbled mess, and I don't know why.
Yeah, keep talking about what you've been watching. I'll mute myself and listen to it.
Well, the other thing I was trying to figure out something to watch yesterday or last night, and it was 10 o'clock or whatever, and I was gonna start Lovecraft Country, but first I was well, I should probably finish either Better Call Saul or there's another show I started too, Better Call Saul or The Boys. I was I should probably finish those first, but then Danielle reminded me that I hadn't finished Twin Peaks, and I was oh shit. So I started that up again last night, which I think I'm on episode 10 of season 2, so I have about another 12 to go. And then I'll probably...
And then another 23.
Of the remake, when he remade him or whatever? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's just the continuation. It's just a season 3.
Oh, the remake?
No, it's not a remake. It's just a season 3.
There's season 3. There's only 2 seasons.
You talking about Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this... What are you talking about?
Netflix only has the two seasons.
Yeah, Netflix only has 2. I think they're on...
There's 3?
It was a Showtime show, so I think it's on Showtime. Yeah, it was Showtime. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a remake. It was just a third season.
Oh, you mean the one that came out in 2017 that's not a remake?
Yeah, the third season. What remake are you talking about?
The one that came out in 2017 on Showtime. 2018, what year it was. Oh, I just assumed that was they redid it with the same people or something.
No,
I didn't know it was
a season 3. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's just a season 3 of the show. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll probably. I was thinking. I was sitting there last night. I was like, David Lynch is like, he's like he's like a great. I think he's a good director, but he's just like a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like all of his movies, like I don't know where he like comes up with these ideas.
Yeah.
Did you listen?
Yeah, it sounded fine. I don't know if it might be. You said you were listening to it you heard it on Twitch?
And yeah, I didn't check YouTube, but
Yeah, YouTube at least that's what I will listen to. It sounded exactly how I'm hearing it.
Okay.
I don't know if it might be. I'll have to check Twitch. Maybe it might be something funky.
Because I know on the
compression.
playback from last week.
Yeah, last week it was all jacked up. I don't know what happened. Just your audio.
Yeah, it just sounds like a bit muffled. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. See, Daniel said no. He definitely sounds bad. See, we gotta figure it out. We'll figure it out at some point. I don't know. What have you been watching? We'll move past this.
Well, oh, that's a bummer. Okay, I just realized my the chat is not working with Restream here. I'll have to look up that. But on the topic of David Lynch, I saw David Lynch has a YouTube channel that he gives daily weather updates on. He gives the weather forecast for Burbank, California every single day on his YouTube channel. What? Oh, politics. I thought it was something interesting on Twitter, but it was just politics. What was it just? Oh yeah, David Lynch's YouTube channel. So he also did this other video where it was just like projects I'm working on. It was called or something, and he was just like doing all this stuff. He built like a homemade phone tripod out of wood, and it was just him talking about that for like 10 minutes, and I watched that. But the other thing that I watched that I think it was actually the day that we recorded the last podcast. I can't remember, but I don't think I talked about it. Was I watched all of the Jurassic Park films. I sat down and watched all 5 of those.
I've seen you going through those, yeah.
Yeah, I sat down and I watched all 5 of those. Well, I watched the first one a couple days before that, and then I sat down and watched all 5 of them in a row that one day when I was just cleaning out my room, just like packing a whole bunch of stuff. It was it wasn't even my whole room. It was just the Funko Pops. It took me 5 Jurassic Park films to pack all of my Funko Pops. That's how long that process was. Because I had to rebox a bunch of them too that were out of the boxes. Let's see. What else have I been watching? I just had the list pulled up and then I closed it because. Do you compulsively close your phone apps or like?
No, I leave them open. Unfortunately,
really,
I leave them all open.
I compulsively close all my apps and I compulsively screenshot something. Like
Can you close them all at once?
Yeah. Like if I open a thing,
you have to like swipe through like each one and close.
Yeah,
them.
no, it's all about this right here. Close all. Yeah. Close all. Right? I'm not gonna do it because I have my letterbox pulled up, but that was the other thing. I watched. God, this was last week. I really just. I mean, granted, we had other cool things to talk about last show, so that's probably why I didn't go over this. But I watched Frost Nixon too. That was back on the 7th.
Oh, yeah.
That was just like, I was just like in the mood. You know what I mean? I was scrolling through Netflix. And I saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna watch the start of this movie. This is such a good movie. Yeah. Watch the whole thing through. I was like, it was like I watched it from like 12:30 to 2:30 a.m. I was like hooked. And then more recently, just a few days ago, I watched the Disney Plus documentary that came out about composer and lyricist Howard Ashman called Howard. It's on Disney Plus. Really, really great. Fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. I think, we've talked about it and I've talked about it on the podcast, how much I'm enjoying all of the documentary content on Disney Plus. I think they're doing a really great job and they're really not, what do I want to say? They're really not pulling punches in all these documentaries that they're doing. Like One Day at Disney, like they'll be like, some of the days are better than others. Like, and then the whole Imagineering story was fantastic. And this really got down into the down and dirty of some of the issues that he had with Disney and some of the issues that Disney Animation had with him. It was really really interesting. It got into some of the Jeffrey Katzenberg stuff. I would definitely, they're both on Disney Plus. I would pair this with Waking Sleeping Beauty, which is the other Disney Plus, or it wasn't a Disney Plus original, but it's on there. The other Disney animation doc, which was documenting the Disney Renaissance, everything, all the drama that went down with Roy Disney and Jeffrey Katzenberg and stuff back in the day. Really, really good. So that's what I've been watching. The other thing was there. I don't remember if there's anything else that I was meaning to say. It was important. The other thing that we want to let you know though is, like we talked about last week with Donald. Donald is now Donald Beasley. For those who don't know, he was on last week's show. He's now a part of the Planet Film ecosystem here with our new third show starting this Thursday. We're going to be going live. Should also be 8 p.m. That's what we're aiming for, is 8 p.m. on Thursday the 20th is going to be the first episode. And that episode is going to be me and Donald doing a full deep dive into both the series finale and the series as a whole of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's going to be our Planet Hero show, which is going to mainly focus on comic book films, TV, video games, all comic book news related stuff, and comic books in general, of course. Basically the same way that we do with Planet Council, but for comic books instead of Star Wars. So yeah, that is going to be going down Thursday. And then just a brief thing about Planet Council. There really just was not a lot of Star Wars news this past week, so me and TJ we skipped the week. Like there was like one rumor about one of the shows. We do have an Obi-Wan update in this show today. But that was really it. I mean, you can only beat to death the, no pun intended, the Ray Park situation for as long as that was bad. That was bad.
Oh boy.
For as long as possible. It's just, it's just a pretty slow time for Star Wars news. But hopefully it'll be picking up. But it has not been a slow week for news in general, which we're going to go ahead and kick off with now, and seemingly like we do every week. And no, I am not about to introduce another unfortunate celebrity death. This is another thing that we do almost every week on this podcast, in addition to covering awful celebrity deaths that have been happening this year. And Tenet news is Disney Plus news. It seems every week there's a whole slew of Disney Plus updates that we have to go over. So the first one here is that Falcon and Winter Soldier is expected to resume filming next week. And the show itself, which obviously had to move off of its August release date, seeing as though it's already mid-August and clearly the show has not come out, is now expected to drop sometime in early 2021. So TJ, let's go ahead with you first. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on finally them getting back into production just to do that last, I think we heard that it was like 9 shooting days left that they had to do. What are your thoughts on getting back to filming and the fact that it's now going to be delayed into 2021?
I mean, I feel like, I don't know. Is it one of the first shows that come out? Like, wasn't supposed to be the first one, was it? What's the first show? Sorry.
This was supposed to be the first show. Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first one. Now it'll be WandaVision is the first.
Okay. I mean, obviously they didn't finish shooting everything. You gotta do what you gotta do, basically, in these times. I'm excited to see it. It's hard to be honest, it's like hard to comment on all these things being delayed because it's like, I feel like we're almost like broken records saying the same exact thing over and over.
Exactly.
Where it's like, get your shooting done, stay safe, put it out when it gets out, and that's probably how everybody's operating. It's almost like, it's like, would they have liked to be done, whenever they were originally shooting? Yeah, probably. But, again, we're in this reality now where you have to have, I don't even know what the precautions are that different like sets are taking. I know there's like, because I know like Zendaya and John David Washington, right?
Yeah,
that's his name.
Yeah.
I forget. They shot that like secret movie during quarantine or whatever that took like that. Apparently everybody was like getting tested every day, and they were like very,
Which
very
is the right
distant
way
of
to
each
do it, of
other.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, it costs a lot of money to do that, but what's more important?
Oh, can I ask a quick side question?
Yeah.
Do you think that COVID testing is going to be part of, like, let's just say it's a Warner Brothers film or a Disney film, whatever you want to say. Um, should Warner be paying for that to keep the set safe? Or is that going to come out of the budget of the film? Just when you said that, when you were like, it costs a lot, I was like, is that incorporated into the budget of filming? Or is that just an expense? Or is that just like a prerequisite expense that the studio knows they have to put up with?
I feel like you would just give. I feel like the studio would just pay for it because, like, well, I don't know. They're paying it either way, aren't they?
Yeah, but like if a movie like set, I mean, I don't know how much it is. I'm assuming it's probably going to be at least a couple million if you're testing an entire film crew and cast and everything every single
Yeah.
day with the
Every day,
highest with the
yeah.
quickest tests that are available. So let's say you have a Blumhouse. Let's leave Warner and Disney out of it because, like you said, they're paying for it either way. But let's go with like something like Blumhouse. Let's go with a $7 million budget. But now, with that crew of 40 or 50 people, now maybe that movie's 10 million if you incorporate the COVID testing. And what if it only makes like 12 million? Now you're like, before you're like, oh, you doubled your budget. Now it's like, well, you barely made anything. That's just interesting. I mean, obviously I know that you don't have the answer. I'm just thinking it's just a pretty interesting thing to think about. Hopefully it'll be a short-term problem for studios.
Yeah, I have to imagine they just pay it. Like, I don't see it like, I don't see you like holding it over their head, you know. Like, well, you better make this money back because we had to test all of you.
I guess it would be the same thing of, is craft services included in budget? I wonder. Yeah, but
Think
what
it'll
do you?
go the way of craft services?
I don't know. Maybe it'll
Like
just be
that?
part of it. Get your sandwich and then your shot. Whoa! Holy crap! They spend a lot on craft services. Yeah, it says here it is. It's rolled into the budget is catering and craft services, which I guess makes sense. Sorry, that was just my brain just like spiraled off when you said that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it moving to 2021? Or like you said, we're kind of a broken record with the delay. Let's do the what are your thoughts on them finally getting back to filming?
I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. Where it seems to be we're moving in the right direction because I think the Batman maybe started back, and then the Matrix, I believe, just started in Berlin. I think I want to say they started back up a few days ago, I think. But yeah, obviously, like you said, we're just like a broken record, like I said earlier. And it's gonna throw everything off as it already has, their whole timeline and everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, just get it out when it gets out. I'm not like banging my hands on the table like, why isn't this out yet? It's like it comes out when it comes out. I'll watch it, and hopefully it just all makes sense and they still have their timeline together.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's been the big concern is like these MCU things kind of getting out of order. You know what I mean? It's like, is that going to be kind of a house of cards going the wrong direction?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see. I feel real bad for Kevin Feige for many reasons right now because his whole universe is delayed, but mainly the timeline working out, trying to make everything still make sense. Hopefully, I think WandaVision maybe won't be too timeline reliant. So hopefully maybe that one you could just slot in whenever, because that one seems to be completely done, good to go, ready for launch in fall. Yeah. So that's nice. The next update here that we have is, like we said, for the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series, which is rumored to, or reportedly, going to be set to begin filming finally next month. So this is going to be eyeing a late September shoot start. So you'd have to assume probably going to be a couple months of shooting. So it looks like no COVID delays in production or anything. It looks like the Obi-Wan series might be completely shot by the beginning of 2021. So what are your thoughts on this show finally getting off of the ground, finally going full steam ahead with production, eyeing a 2021 release date? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's good news. Am I correct in saying that? Sorry to like pivot a little bit, but am I correct in saying that I heard there was only going to be like 4 episodes or something?
Yeah,
Like
so
that?
that was like when Kathleen Kennedy said that they were doing like a page one rewrite. That was when it went from 6 to 4 episodes. So I
Okay.
guess it's still maybe up in the air for the episode count.
Okay. Um, I mean, yeah, like I think they said that they're going to be using it's like the volume for a lot of shots and stuff like that, like they use in the Mandalorian
Hmm.
that we saw in that whole documentary. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great. I mean, I feel like the faster they can get this thing out, the better, because
Hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of speculation going on about it, and people don't know what it's about, and people just honestly really want to see it, and I'm just hoping it's good. Like, I really hope it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like, if it comes out, we don't want another like, I don't even like another, even though it's like a show, like they're doing rewrites. If it comes out like what they had before the rewrites, and that's like people think that's way better than what they're putting on screen with the rewrites.
Yeah.
People are gonna not be very happy.
Hmm. And
Um,
I remember we've already seen stuff like that with I think it was, oh, I don't want to name names, but
yeah.
people in the know in that atmosphere did tweet back then, like, if this is anything, if this is not going in the same vein as like what I read, I being like the person tweeting, then I think we're gonna have a lot of disappointed fans. So it's like whatever it was, it obviously sounded like it was really really cool. So
Yeah.
like you said, I really hope that we're not getting a lesser product with the rewrite. That if anything, they're taking maybe the great things about the original idea and building upon it. And I mean, to me at least, just based on casting rumors and stuff, if you're hearing that Hayden's going to be back in a big way, if you're hearing, that the maybe other characters are coming back or other locations, that it might not just be him on Tatooine, maybe it's him on Tatooine, but he gets called to one last adventure type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we see flashbacks to the Clone Wars, like that is all the stuff that's been rumored since the rewrite. So if that's the case, I think that sounds amazing. If it's not as good, I would love to, Robert Meyer Burnett style, a la Duel of the Fates script, someone get a hold of the original script so that we could like read what could have been. But then again,
Yeah.
maybe not, because then we might be even more disappointed.
Yeah.
I think it all just depends on what we see. But echoing what you said, I think it's just great that finally, we are getting back into the swing of things. And it actually was, I believe, a year ago today or tomorrow, that TJ and I were at the Toronto Fan Expo watching D23 in our hotel room when Ewan came out on stage. So, all the drama aside, it's been 1 year since that happened. Since Kathy said, finally, Ewan, are you returning? And he said yes. So, I mean, all the drama aside with everything, 1 year to go into production from the initial announcement isn't that bad, especially when you consider everything that happened with COVID and how long everything was shut down. Um, I guess I'm just saying, like, take your victories when you can, because it could have been a much worse situation. It could have been, we're not getting Obi-Wan till 2023. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that kind of a thing. Like take the movies, for example. We're not getting that until 2023 now, maybe even later. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so then last bit of Disney Plus news, which is less on the content side, more on the service side, which is that I also believe that we didn't talk about this last week, which
You
I'm
did
sorry
not. I
about.
don't
Yeah,
think.
which
Yeah.
is that Mulan is officially moving to Disney Plus. So basically, they're launching this premier access tier to Disney Plus, which is that if you're a Disney Plus member right now, you can pay $29.99 to basically add Mulan. Like, I'm saying functionally, that's how it's going to work, is you pay $29.99 to add Mulan to your Disney Plus account.
Yeah.
That will then give you access to Mulan the entire time that you have your Disney Plus account. And then, of course, once Mulan is just added to Disney Plus, then at that point, if you ever cancel your Disney Plus subscription or something, when you come back, it'll just be on there anyways. So basically, that's why they're calling it Premier Access, because they're basically just saying, hey, you're like, they're kind of wording it like it's not like a VOD thing, but like you're going to get this on Disney Plus 3 months before it would normally be on Disney Plus. So it's basically just a Disney way of rebranding it into kind of a positive spin, but everybody knows what the situation is and what had to happen with it. So the news here is that originally Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, said that this would not be used for more than one film, that this would not be a recurring thing. But now we are getting reports saying that Disney Plus may bring more films to this Premier Access level. So this could be thing. And also, even just today, there's been a lot of tweets going around saying that independent studies, which I'm guessing were paid... I'm just speculating here, but I'm guessing there's a reason why independent studies were being had about how would you like to see Black Widow? I wonder who paid for those. Yeah. So, and I wonder why they would even have that. But apparently, 87% of the people in that poll said, and it might not be Disney paying for it. It might be NATO, even, National Association of Theater Owners, because there was also info that came out today about those same polls for Tenet and Wonder Woman, which we can talk about in a second, which was basically, I believe it was 87% of people.
I think I saw it.
Yeah, it would be willing to watch Black Widow at home. Not prefer, but would be willing to watch it for the first time at home, with then maybe a re-release or a first release, I should say, in theaters.
Then 30% one, it's like would rather see it in the theater.
Would rather, hold off and see it in the theater. And then there was the same kind of figure came out for Tenet and Wonder Woman 84, which was, I think that was lower. That was like 75% of people said that they would prefer to see it at home the first time, just to be safer and everything. So what are your thoughts on, seemingly the majority, at least of that poll, the majority of people wanting to maybe stay home, wanting to stay a little bit safer? And then what do you think? Do you think maybe this Premier Access is going to be what brings us Black Widow in its initial form? Because we're coming real close to October 4th here. Yeah. We're coming real close again.
Well, that's when they said it?
Yeah,
it's farther than that.
Exactly. We're past 2 Wonder Woman dates now. We're past 2 Wonder Woman. Or no, I'm sorry, 3. Because remember, Wonder Woman was originally coming out in February of 2020. Then it was June. Then it was August. Now it's October. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts?
I think it all depends on how much money they get. Like, I don't know how you, like, I'm not sure about, I don't know if this will, like, draw people to, like, I don't know if it's, I just don't know if this is as big as a draw as people, like, maybe think it will be. I don't know. I mean, I obviously, like, if you've been quarantining or if you're one of the worst states and, you've been with your kids, for 4 or 5 months straight and you're like, I need something to, shut them up for 2 hours, I'll pay this $30 assuming you already have Disney Plus, I'll pay this $30 one time to have this movie while I have a Disney Plus subscription or an active one, and then they can watch it as many times as they want. And I don't have to pay, in New York, when theaters were still open, the kids' ticket was like $8.49, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, in the morning and stuff, and I don't have to pay multiple prices for like multiple tickets to see this movie. I'm just curious to see how it does. I think if it does well enough, they'll like you said, like I think they're gonna go more into this, lean more into the idea of having a premiere like tier type thing, where you pay Do you think they'd shift the price at all? Like depending on because they know the demand of the movie. So do you think they would be like, oh, we'll charge $35 for Black Widow? Like, do you think they'd raise it, or do you think people would be like, I'm not doing that?
This is what I will say, and I'm switching.
Yeah.
I'm switching from your one shot to my one shot because this is my soapbox, and I will stand on it. I think what I genuinely believe. I think that they are going to put Black Widow on Premier Access. I think they're gonna do it for, you know, maybe they'll stick with October. Maybe they'll push it even further. I'm going to say something real crazy here. I have no basis in
All right.
reality. I am not basing this off of
takes.
anything.
Love 'em.
This is just what I think would be the most bang for Disney's buck. Is I genuinely think you're talking about Mulan. Is Mulan a fantastic Disney film? Yes. Is there now two generations of kids, including us, that grew up on that film and like means a lot to us and we're really excited to like see a new one? Yes, that is all true. But at the same time, it's one of their live action remakes. They have not had a great track record with box office returns on some of their live action thing. There's other stories, obviously things like Your Beauty and the Beast and stuff that are exceptions to the rule that made a buco bucks at the box office. But this is one of their live action remakes. This is not one of the most highly anticipated Marvel Cinematic Universe films that we didn't even think we were going to get since 2010. A decade. People have been waiting for this Black Widow solo movie since Scarlett Johansson first came on screen as the character. I think they could easily charge $49.99 for this film on the Premier Access thing, and I think people would pay it. And I think the most bang for the buck is I think if you pushed it from May to October, I think you can push it a little bit more and make this a Christmas movie. Disney has notoriously done well with Disney releases. Now, granted, those were feeders, but people know, Disney knows the appetite is there that weekend. Families, it's not a thing where families are like, oh, we're not going to go see a movie. This is the family week or whatever. No, it's the exact opposite. Disney now knows families love to go see a movie on that weekend. I think if you say December 25th, or what is let me get the actual Friday that it would be. December 25th is a Friday. Okay. So that works out even better. I think you say December 25th, Black Widow Premier Access, get it. Maybe it'll be $39.99. I think you could push it to $49.99 because you got to make a crap ton of money back on this thing. I think that's the play. I genuinely think that is what they should do. I genuinely believe very, very much that Black Widow is going to Disney Plus. I understand that she's an important character for young females and an important character to the MCU as well. Not to even have her rely on anything else. Just Natasha in general is a pillar of the MCU.
And this is the passing of the torch as well.
Exactly. So I understand the people that say, like, that film, the passing of the torch, Natasha finally getting her standalone, Scarlett Johansson's, no pun intended, swan song as this character, I understand when people are like, no, that deserves to be on the big screen. I totally understand that. We are quickly running out of that luxury. That luxury does not exist right now. And I think Disney understands that they can't keep this movie on a shelf for two years. They can't do it. They have to make the money eventually. That's what happened with Mulan. That's exactly why this is happening with Mulan. If they were just like fine with like, all right, we just won't release anything for a while, Mulan would have just been put on a shelf and everything else would have been put on a shelf and they would have just waited and pushed everything back. But that's not how they run a business. They can't do that. So I genuinely think because I really just think I think it's going to be Black Widow is going to do kind of what New Mutants is doing next weekend, which is and Tenet the week after, which is whatever's open is open. We're releasing it in theaters. Whatever theaters want to show it, can show it, that's where it's going to show it. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with all these theaters opening next week from AMC, or not next week, in 2 days from AMC. It could be a catastrophe. From some of the screenshots I'm seeing of how they're blocking off auditoriums, it would not be the way that I would block off an auditorium. Let's just put it that way. I've been on both sides of that, so I that is not what I would consider to be properly social distance.
I mean, real quick, do you mind me asking, how are they blocking them off?
Yeah, it's not. I didn't see it like through work because for those who don't know, I work at AMC.
Because I'm just picturing
but
what we did before we closed. So
what we did before we closed was, in my opinion, much better. Well, not much better, but it was better than what they're doing right now. Now, I have talked to my manager, and my manager said there's some nuance to it. It's not going to be all the same type of blocking off that are in the pictures that I sent to my manager, because I saw it was just a tweet. Because the auditoriums are live, you can see what's blocked off because the tickets are up.
Shout out New Mutants, by the way. Tickets going on sale. It's about time.
Doing pretty well as well. Sun. Yeah, doing pretty well as well. Yeah, I know another fellow hoster by the name of John Campia got his tickets and is driving all the way to Las Vegas, the promised land, to see New Mutants. We'll see how it. What's your favorite movie there? It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out. Or
Dodgeball.
Yeah. Still haven't seen it. What were we just talking about? What was the main?
How they're blocking off seats.
Yeah. So basically, they're just doing every other row, which means there could be 25 people sitting directly next to each other. It's only every other
thing. They're not doing it like that.
Yeah, it's every other row this way, like down. There's no side-to-side social. Yeah, you're telling me there's no side-to-side social distancing. And like I said, my manager that I spoke to, I trust my manager. They said, it's more nuanced to that. There's going to be some theaters that are doing the checkerboard seating. I think that's the best way to do it is you need to have one person and 4 empty seats all around them. That's how it's got to be. At least at the start. But yeah, it's looking real bad.
All right.
But yeah, so like I was saying though, if cases spike after these first couple theaters open, I say first couple hundred theaters open across the country, including all of the theaters in Florida.
I'm interested to see what happens in Florida.
I genuinely feel like Florida just doesn't care what happens. Like, I really think that Florida doesn't care what happens. But if there's a spike in that, and then like there's some sort of a thing where they say, all right, movie theaters were way too risky, we're closing them back down. Let's just move on to our next topic, actually, because that is our next topic. Segues
into the next part.
Yeah, that is our next topic here, which is, let me just pull it up here, which is that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says that reopening movie theaters is still high risk. So for those who do not know, TJ and I, we both live in New York State. I have the article pulled up on the screen here for you guys. So, this is how we're going. So I am not currently going back to work right now. And from the sounds of this, I am not going back to work for a while. Which is basically, I'll just go ahead and read just the first paragraph here. This is just the write-up from Variety. But this was during, for those who don't know, Andrew Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, he has been doing, it used to be every single day, but now I think it's more sporadic, but at least every week he does a press conference every day. So this is just what is in the Variety write-up here, which is that when asked, okay, you're given these new guidances on opening gyms finally. He also recently opened bowling alleys in New York State, so bowling alleys around us are starting to open up. They said, what about movie theaters? Do you consider that to be the same category as like a bowling alley or more like a gym where it's more high risk? And he basically said that movie theaters is the last thing on his mind. So here you see, he said, this is a direct quote from him. It says, "I am sure there's a whole group of people who will say, I cannot live without going to the movies. But on a relative risk scale, a movie theater is less essential and poses a high risk," Cuomo said. "It is a congregate. It's one ventilation system. You're seated there for a long period of time. Even if you are at 50% capacity with one or two seats between the two of you, this is a risk situation, and movie theaters are not that high on the list of essentials." So he does go on to say a couple more things in the Variety write-up here. It goes on to say, you know, that AMC, what they're opening and everything, as well as a couple other things. Oh yeah, so AMC and Regal, as well as some of the drive-ins that are still being opened. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it, is that quote that he gave during his press conference. So
at the bottom of this article, there's like a map of, you know, different states and, you know, theaters that are open in these states. There's only 7 states that don't have movie theaters open.
Yep.
That's I thought it was way more than that.
Yeah, let me pull this up here.
Shout out, if you can scroll down to it, shout out Montana. They seem like they're killing it apparently. Because they have a 70 to 99% capacity limit. They're the only state that has that.
Are they killing it, or are they just killing themselves?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like there's some states that you just don't hear about. Like Florida is the one you hear about all the time. Mm-hmm. California is one you hear about all the time.
My mom said the other day, she was like, "You don't hear much about Nebraska. Like, how's Nebraska handling it?
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
But yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, I got this map pulled up here. I got it pulled up with you on screen, TJ. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Cuomo, you know, saying that because, you know, for a while, you know, you and I had been talking. This was back when, you know, TJ no longer is at AMC with us. But for a good part of the quarantine and everything, you know, he was still expecting to go back. So this is back when we were talking about it. We were saying, you know, if I had to guess, we're probably going to reopen when gyms and bowling alleys and that type of stuff opens. Now Cuomo has opened those two other things, but he is very adamant that this is very low on the list. What are your thoughts on this? And how do you think having New York theaters closed for seemingly a long while still is going to affect box office and releasing films going forward for the remainder of the year?
Well, to answer that part of the question, if you're looking at the map right now, you see literally the 2 biggest markets are closed.
Yeah, and I will say too, I don't have any quotes pulled up right here, but Gavin Newsom, Governor Newsom for California, pretty much echoed the exact same sentiment. He's like, listen, they are way too way too high risk and way too low on the essential thing. And he was like, now that does not equal out to being able to open.
Yeah. So to basically just give people, you know, who don't live in New York or don't know what's going on really with New York, when you open the gyms today, they're basically guidelines. For a gym, when you're working out, there's a capacity limit. I think it's 33%. I want to say for gyms in New York.
Yeah.
You also have to wear a mask the entire time, which
from walking in to walking out.
I go through spurts of working out where I'll work out for like a month or 2 and then I just won't go for a long time, and then I'll try to get myself back to going and I'll go for, you know, a few weeks and I'll stop.
Yeah.
If I would never be able to work out with a mask on the entire time. I think we both will agree with the sentiment that movie theaters are not essential. Considering you can, you know, go on Netflix, go on Hulu, you can rent any movie you want really at, you know, the palm of your hands. It's not an essential thing. Gyms, I almost would also deem non-essential because you can work out without weight. Like you could run, you could do push-ups, you can, you know, whatever you need to do. You don't necessarily need to go to a gym to work out. Same with bowling alleys. I don't really understand. That doesn't really make much sense to me. Although if I were to open up, I get the entire, like, the movie theaters are a risk, and I'm not advocating for them to be opened up right now because I don't think they should be. But I don't believe that a gym is less risk than a movie theater. That doesn't really make much sense to me, considering, you know, there's people sweating all over the place, and you're picking up, as I say, working out. You pick up heavy things and you put them down. You got people touch the same dumbbell, like 40 people touch the same dumbbell in a matter of like 5 minutes. Okay, that's a little high on the people count, but it's a decent amount of people in the matter of a small time limit. And I can tell you right now, if they leave, they won't. I don't think. But if they were to leave the job of people cleaning the weights and stuff in the people's hands, like just the people who work out at the gym, this case would be crazy. Because as we said, I think I went on this whole thing like a few weeks ago. Is you tell everybody, if you all wear a mask for 6 weeks every single day, this will all be done. We're still in this because
it's just not gonna happen.
Everybody's like, well, no, we're not doing. I'm not gonna do that. There's always those bunch of people are like, I'm not doing that. But even like you said though, like I find it so hard to believe that. I mean, I believe you, and obviously the pictures you've seen of the seating charts. But if that's really how it's going, then I don't understand. Like, what is going on? Like, that's I don't understand why you wouldn't. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like pivoting here, but like, why would you not block off? See next to you, in front of you, other side, and then behind you, for like theaters in the other states that have them open. Obviously, it's been no secret that big chains like AMC and Regal have been suffering due to this because you're not open, you're not making any money.
Do you have the stream up on your phone?
No, I don't.
Okay, pull it up. I have the seating chart on. I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
Okay. I'll put it up my computer real quick on my other.
Okay, yeah, because I just threw the seating chart into the webpage, so let me know when you have that up and I can show you it.
All right. Hold on one second. I think it's gonna take a second.
But yeah, I mean, just to go off of what you're saying, I understand. Yeah. I would say normally I would 100% agree. I would say that gyms to me would not be any less risk than a movie theater, except like we talked about, the absolute strict standards that Cuomo put to all the gyms to implement. They had to add new ventilation. These are things that they had to do to even qualify to be opened. And now the ones that do qualify are the ones being able to be opened.
Yeah, it's not up on the screen, just so you know. It's really not.
No, I haven't. No, I have it. I just haven't switched over to it.
Oh, okay.
I'll switch over to it real quick. But like I was saying, I think what so you can see there, it's only every other. There we go. The gyms,
yeah,
the gyms
I think I saw this.
In,
I think I saw it on Twitter.
The gyms have put in. Look at this one; doesn't even have any blocking off.
Yeah,
look at that.
No, certainly. Unless they pushed the ends of the theater like 10 feet in each direction, or not. I don't even know. Like a certain amount of ways in direction. What is this one doing? This one's got nothing.
Yeah, this one with the big block, it's got nothing blocked off. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if this is just because maybe
they cannot possibly be going that way. There's no way. And that's obviously I know because I've seen the seating chart enough times. I obviously know that's it says AMC there too. But I'm curious to see like what the other theaters are doing.
What Regal's doing. Here's another one too. This fourth picture, no social distancing. Nothing enforced. No cap on here. What I'm getting. Okay, now I should say this. So I think I'm allowed to say this. I mean, this was months ago, and
I don't know if you want.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. I'm not about to like reveal any like company secret or anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Months ago, when we were first starting to block off seats and limit capacities and stuff, it wasn't shown as blocked off seats online, but it did cap off at 50%. So I'm just saying benefit of the doubt here. Maybe these ones that don't show anything blocked off, maybe it's that type where once the capacity hits 50%, it's just going to sell out the show. But still, I don't think that is safe. I don't think that's the way that it should be being done. But just benefit of the doubt of that specific picture, I think maybe that's what it is. But either way, just to wrap up, and I'll go to you for the final thoughts on this. Just either way, I I genuinely just feel like this is the right move to do. I obviously I know Governor Cuomo has become somewhat of a polarizing figure in the past couple weeks because he's so slow to open things, but that is what is saving lives. We don't get political on here, but the one thing that I will say is the coronavirus is real, and you should wear a mask when you go out to places, and having proper social distancing in place before deciding to open an entire industry is going to save lives. It's opening them with nothing in place. I can't say for sure whether that's going to lose lives based on the facts and based on the science behind it. Most likely, yeah. But in terms of New York, I think that this is a good decision. And I think that New York and California being on this united front together to say, listen, this is not an industry that is essential right now. This is not, it's that whole thing that we've talked about many times in the podcast. You build a functioning society, then you get sports. You build a functioning society, then you get to go to the movies. You don't get to go to the movies to prove that society is working. You know what I mean? And that's the approach that New York and California are both taking, which I think is good. What are your final thoughts on this situation?
I just think they should all be kind of closed. Like I don't think gyms should.
Oh
be
yeah,
bowling alleys should definitely not be open. I don't get that at all.
That's the one that I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, I understand that
the bowling alleys open. Did he announce that they were going to open today, or that have they been open already?
I don't know. I think maybe they were opening the same day the gym was opening.
With gyms, okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
The only thing I understand about bowling alleys is that he also forced them to bowling alleys that can open have to get better ventilation. He said that, and also they have to be every other lane. So even if you're like going with a big group, it has to be every other lane. And the only thing that makes me more lenient on that is that he and I'm talking about Cuomo here. He basically said it's a sliding scale. It's a check and balance between essential and risk. So basically, I could understand it on the spectrum of bowling alleys might not be that essential, but their risk is also much lower. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's maybe why. He was like, listen, movie theaters, I get that people want to go to them. I get that people love going to see movies. I get that. But the risk is not worth it. And then if you think bowling alleys, it's like, I get that people want to go bowling. I think that they could properly social distance that. Go ahead, we'll open it, we'll try it. Because also, you got to keep in mind with Cuomo on all of this, it's very much like you're allowed to open. If you have one slip up, you're closed. That is it. He is not doing any. So this isn't even like a guarantee that all of this is going to be open going forward. This is just, he's given them a chance to show that they can do it, and not increase community spread or anything. And then the last thing that I'll just put on this is I was talking to this with my mom. Was I genuinely think now that he's kind of tabled the movie theater discussion with these comments, I honestly don't think he's going to revisit movie theaters until after the schools are settled. Because that's the big thing.
I forgot that's even like
exactly.
a thing.
And that's coming up because I know around the country, some people go back even the beginning of August, this whole month.
Well, did you see North Carolina? They were they tried it and they had 12 or 20 or something a little bit of a spike, and they went, nope, you're all going home.
Really? Well, yeah. That's probably what's going to happen in most states. Well, most states with common sense, I'll say. But yeah, I agree with that thinking. Honestly, I really think now that he's kind of tabled the whole movie theater thing, I think he's going to make sure that schools are settled. Then he's going to go back to revisiting non-essential businesses, because I think that schools now is what's most pressing on his mind. But with that, we have a couple more pieces of news that I want to get to, and then we're going to take a quick break and then we will be back with the second half of the show here. So the next thing that we want to talk about is, TJ, what if I told you that a movie that came out 6,850 days ago just crossed $1 billion at the box office? What if I told you that? Because that is what just happened.
I'd say I'm not surprised.
That's right. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or how it was known internationally, or I should say everywhere but America, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, after almost 7,000 days of release, has crossed $1 billion at the global box office with the re-release in China. So Chinese theaters have started opening. China's box office is starting to finally tick up. I'm still hoping that I can, somehow see Detective Chinatown 3. I've been waiting on that since January. But before their new movies are coming out, they're still going with a solid string of re-releases, which actually I think the whole Harry Potter franchise is going on a re-release cycle in America starting next week, too. I saw our local drive-in just put out a Facebook post about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to be doing, Transit's going to be doing 2 movies every week. So for 4 weeks, they're just going to do a Harry Potter marathon where every night they're going to be showing 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, 4 and 5, and then 7 and 8.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
cool.
definitely want to go to that. Yeah, but pretty cool. A movie that's almost 20 years old, finally breaking a humongous box office milestone. Really, really cool. What are your thoughts on that? I know it's just a quick, little light story, but what are your thoughts
like you
on
said,
that?
short topic. I think it's really cool. I think I saw something that the entire franchise has now grossed $7.2 billion, which I think is dope. A good movie. That's really all I got on it. I think it's cool.
Total gross on Fantastic Beasts, $4.95.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to think about that. I can't wait.
First
until
one's better
there's
than the
some
second one,
news
but
break. Yeah.
the second
Okay.
one is ugh.
Now, our next story here, which is another quick one. Do you have the link pulled up for this? Have you seen what this is before I cut to it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so let me pull it up on screen for you guys here. And this is for the true fans out there, for the ones in the know. This is the Space Jam 2 uniforms that LeBron revealed this week. Let me throw it up on screen here and play the video for you guys.
I mean, I was gonna say, I could just talk over it, right? It's not like what do you think about them? Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're ugly? Do you think they're I don't know, they're too bright? Do you like the design or you don't like it?
I really actually like the design.
Okay.
I think it's cool that it has the old rings that Porky the Pig would pop out of.
Yeah.
That's All Folks, the old Looney Tunes rings. And then I like it on the teal or aquamarine or whatever you want to call that, light blue color. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's nice that I love, the first Space Jam, but I always associate it as kind of like a grungy, 90s film. This seems like a pop of color. Like this is going to be a more vibrant, kind of eccentric movie, which I think is going to be really, really cool. And obviously we're talking about a basketball cartoon movie, but it's a pretty cool basketball cartoon movie, which, by the way, I don't think we've ever said before, but at some point in the past couple months, they added Don Cheadle to the cast. He's going to be the co-star with LeBron in there.
Okay, cool.
What are your thoughts? What do you think about the look and the colors?
I think it's comparing it to the originals, it's way brighter, like you said. I would agree with you, as I do like that kind of ring that's around the side right there, like the original, that type of thing. I think it looks kind of weird. I like that it's completed with the shorts, but at the same time I don't. like how the circle like spans from the jersey to the shorts down.
To the shorts, yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't really like it. Like in this, like I just paused the video at one point. Like I think it looks kind of weird for some reason.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to see the movie. I feel like I've been hearing about this movie for like 3 or 4 years. Like I just kind of want to see it. I only recently saw Space Jam for the first time. I think it was definitely this year. I don't remember what like month it was. I think it was like early 2020. Mm-hmm. And I did like it. Like it's nothing like, you know, it's Michael Jordan playing basketball with Looney Tunes. Like, you know. So I'm interested to see like if it's better, if it's worse, if this one's better or worse than the original.
Now here's another question for you. Are you excited for Space Jam 3 in 2035 with Steph Curry? Are you excited for that
2035?
Well, yeah, you got to put 20 years between these movies, right?
No, it'll be way past. Well, we'll have a different star at that point. Might have Zion.
But I mean, LeBron, he's not a basketball star anymore. He's a star.
What?
No, he's like a star. Like I'm saying he's transcended the sport. Like at the time, Michael Jordan was the biggest basketball player of all time. Now it's like LeBron. All right, I get it. You're an actor. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get somebody a little bit past their basketball prime to be the star of the movie, I guess.
I don't think it'd be Steph Curry.
I think you're right with
Zion. Lived up to the hype.
I think
if he lives up to the hype, I think it'd be Zion.
I think unfortunately this movie might have not to bring it down like all of a sudden, but I think unfortunately this movie might have a little bit of a cloud over its head with Kobe passing, because I'm sure that's probably something that they were trying to probably get him to be in it. Because I mean, why would you not?
Oh
you know what I mean?
I would imagine.
Yeah, probably going to be tributed to him, if I guess.
I think it'll be harshly judged because I feel like people will love the first one, so I think it'll be very tough to meet
to live up to that. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see like how the movie is. I hope it's just really good. Like that's all I want. Like I just be a really good movie. Don't try to be a remake of the original. Don't try to live up to it. Just try to do your own thing. But we'll see. And so the last story for this week, before we go for a quick break here, is about Stranger Things Season 4. Let me throw that up on the screen here. So as you can see, this was a long interview with the Duffer Brothers I should say, The Hollywood Reporter, Emily Hilton from The Hollywood Reporter. And what we are going to be talking about is down here, which is they asked him point blank, this is Ross Duffer, will Season 4 be the last? And he says, Season 4 won't be the end. We know what the end is, and we know when it is. The pandemic has given us time to look ahead, figure out what is best for the show. Starting to fill that out gave us a better idea of how long we need to tell the story. So, you know, I know you've seen Stranger Things. You've seen all of Stranger Things, right? Yeah. So what are your thoughts? I guess just because we haven't really talked about it in the show in depth on the show before. What are your just like overall thoughts on Stranger Things, and what are your thoughts about Season 4 definitely not being the end of the story?
Okay, so I think I said that I saw this. This came out today, right? I believe the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think I was standing next to Danielle earlier when I read this, and I go, I thought Season 4 was the end. I go, why is it going? I think, like I said this last week too. Mm-hmm. Season 1, you'll never replicate how good it was. Yeah. It was something new and interesting and crazy and weird. And Season 2 was, I think I did like Season 1, Season 3, and Season 2. Season 3 I thought was a step up from Season 2, but I still didn't think it was that good. It's just, I could have sworn they said at one point they didn't want to stretch this longer than they have to, and I feel like they are. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, I don't know the ending or anything, but I'm just like not excited. I'm not excited for the next season. I was excited for the next season, I guess, when I thought that it was going to end, but it's not. I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of it, I feel like. Because it takes them so long to make the season, too. Like, I feel like there's a 2-year gap between seasons. That's just me.
It's
I always feel like it
it's
takes forever to get
like
to the next one.
one and two were like 1 year flat, and then it
Yeah,
went from it was when it moved from fall to summer for season
yeah,
three that was a long gap.
yeah,
So it because it what am I saying? Season two was November 2018, I believe,
yeah,
and then season four was July of 2019, and then this
yeah.
is going to be back to the fall. Wait, when? Hang on, I just like tripped up my own brain. When does this
I feel
season come
like
out?
I'm looking at them in this like screenshot. I almost feel like they're kind of outgrowing the characters. You know, it's kind of like the It syndrome, where it's they had to de-age the kid. Now the kids aren't in It 2 as much as they are in the first one, but they have to de-age the kids in the second one because they've grown up so much since the first one. I just feel like they're kind of, especially like I feel like Finn Wolfhard and Millie Bobby Brown are kind of moving past these characters. Uh, what? Is it a smaller gap than we think it is? Than it was?
No, it's huge.
Oh, see, I told you. I told
Whoa!
you.
I thought that this was.
2 years.
I really thought. Oh my god.
Yeah. What was it?
Okay. So basically, I think what's throwing me is the trailer. The fact that they already like did the trailer, which wasn't really a trailer. It was just that one shot of
I think a
Hopper.
quick teaser where it's like, oh, you're showing us something that we are all already knew.
Exactly. Yeah. Like 5 minutes after it, we're not going to spoil it, but 5 minutes after the thing happens, you know what's going to happen. And then that trailer was just like, yep, that's what's happening. So this article says, so basically the headline is they're talking summer 2021, another year from now. From
Really?
right now, another year. Yeah. So that would
Oh
be
my
2
Lord.
full years between
Yeah,
seasons.
see, I told you 2 years.
But this is saying,
I mean, obviously, COVID has something to do with it. I feel like
that's
maybe,
what it says right here. It says Duffer Brothers have said that in a COVID-free world, filming would have wrapped up in late August of 2020 with a launch date of spring 2021. But in reality, it's going to be much further.
Yeah.
Still, that's like at least 20 months
exactly
between seasons. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really excited. I'm gonna watch it because I feel like I'm really bad at like starting things and not finishing them. But I need to get all these other shows out of the way, and I have time till this comes out. But the Stranger Things is always like a binge to me. Like I'll finish the entire season in like 1 or 2 days. Yeah. How about you? Are you excited or are you meh?
This is what I'll say. So we did talk briefly about Stranger Things last week with the Emmy talk because it was nominated for some of them. And I have the exact same ranking as you. I put it at 1, 3, and 2. But to me,
and even 1 I think is like up there, and then 3 is kind of like in the
see.
middle.
That's I think where we differ because I would put Duffer. Yeah. I would put it like season 1, and then I would put like season 3 down here, and then like season 2 is like down like under the table, under the desk. Yeah, it's in the basement. And it wasn't even bad. It's just when you stack it up to 1 and even 3, it's just different. You know what I mean? It just doesn't compare to them. But to me, when I put 3 above 2, to me that signifies an upswing in quality. If they can keep that going, if they can keep that upswing going, and you build, let's just say, I mean, I'm assuming these quotes, they're not talking 6 or 7 seasons. They're probably saying it's going to end with 5. If they're saying that the end is in sight. If you can build me up to, all right, you got me back. You got me really back in with season 3, especially with some of the side characters, like the Alexi and Marie relationship in that season was really, really funny, really great, as well as what's his name? Lucas's sister Erica joining the group was like really, really funny. She's a really funny little actress. She's really good in it. If you can build off of what you won me back with in season 3 and then say, boom, 4 is even better, then boom, 5 is like season 1 times 2 or like even better than season 1, then you've got me. You know what I mean? If they're saying that the COVID delay kind of let them take a step back, look at it from the outside, see what has to be done to stick the landing, something that another big show, that ended very poorly didn't do.
I'm sorry, real quick. I just want to pivot real quick.
Oh, Charles
I was
Dance?
gonna bring up. Did you? Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of stories lately where they're asking the cast, and they're like, "Yeah, I would sign that petition to remake the last season." And Charles Dance said his name today. I think it was.
Because
Or,
last week,
when that story came out.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau said that he would, and they were like, "You were in it," and he was like, "Well, I still would." And then Charles Dance, who isn't in it, also was like, "Yeah, I'd sign it." And then I think I saw that today he did. Like he signed the Change.org thing or whatever it was. But yeah, that is so funny. But yeah, so I mean that'll do it for the first half of the show here. Just a lot of news, some cool stuff, some unfortunate stuff with COVID, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we will be right back probably in just a couple of minutes for you guys. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Took a quick break there. All right. So, now it is time for everybody's favorite segment on the show, which is Tell Me What to Watch. I don't know what to watch. So this week, I threw it over to TJ to decide what we were going to watch for you guys today. And he decided to go with the new Netflix release this week, which is Project Power. let's get into the review.
All right, I'm gonna run down the IMDb information real quick.
All
All right, so description of IMDb or on IMDb says, when a pill that gives its users unpredictable superpowers for 5 minutes hits the streets of New Orleans, a teenage dealer and a local cop must team with an ex-soldier to take down the group responsible for its creation. Directed by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman, written by Mattson Tomlin, starring Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dominique Fishback, Rodrigo Santoro, and Courtney B. Vance, who are basically the kind of the heavy hitters in the movie. All right, so I want to pass it on to Sean because obviously there's no box office and Netflix doesn't really. If it was a ton of people watching when it released or whatever, they'd probably say something by now, maybe. But since they haven't, I'm going to pass it off to you to tell me.
Oh, I guarantee you, we're going to get a tweet from like fandom in the next couple days. That's like one of those little fandom infographics, you know, that's like, what would your power be? Netflix says Project Power is the #1 Netflix movie of all time. Like, it's that whole old joke of like every single Netflix movie is apparently the best movie they've ever released or the most watched movie they've ever released.
All right, what did you think about? What are your initial thoughts on Project Power?
You're goddamn making me go first. I literally, when I was watching it, I was like, I am definitely gonna make him go first in the review, but I will take the bullet here. I'll take the pill.
Sure.
Got it. How do I don't even know. Like, this movie fucking sucked. I don't know. I hated this movie. I hated it. I was like, I'm not even kidding. This is not one of the.
You're not. I was gonna say this is a bit, right? You're not
one
playing
of
the
the
bit.
like. No, I'm just kidding. I loved it. I hated this movie. I was sitting there, and I was just like. At one point, I paused it, and I was like, "There's still 25 minutes left." I was like, "What is going on? How? What? Where? What are they doing?" I thought it was over. Like, I thought it was over when there was 45 minutes left. This movie could have been 85 minutes, and I would have been fine. I would have been fine if they never made it, actually. Oh man. I'm going to leave that for my non-spoiler. The non-spoiler is going to be short this week, folks, because I just want to rip into this thing. TJ, what did you think? What did you think of the movie? And then when he gives his thoughts, we'll give our star rating, of course, before we hop into spoilers.
Well, I can tell you that we are in about the same camp. Okay. I feel like they didn't establish any rules in this movie. Like, I didn't know. I was confused as to if the movie, if when you took the pill, if it was a random superpower, if you knew the superpower you were going to get. And, you know, I did not like this movie. I wanted to rate it. I wanted to like put it on Letterboxd and like be like, this is what I thought of it. And it's funny because I tend to, after I like watch it and I kind of know what I want to rate it, I watch other reviews of it and see what other people thought. And I feel like a lot of people, like, we watch like Dan Merle or Chris Stuckman. They like Chris Stuckman more was like the problem with the movie were the script, he thought, and he gave it, I think, like a C or something like that. And Dan said he decently liked it. Or actually no, he said he enjoyed it. Like, he didn't think it was like, you know, there was like a few problems or whatever, but like, and I'm like, I'm so opposite. I was like, I just did not like it at all. Again, I shouldn't say that. I did not like it at all, but it had a lot of problems.
Yeah, I didn't.
And every time I felt like it redeemed itself a little bit with me, there was another thing where I was like, well, that was stupid.
I'll say that. I had that a couple times where I was like, you know what? I think this movie. Nope. I was like literally. There was. But we'll get to it in the spoilers. But do you want to just go?
Yeah.
So do you want to go for the stars? Yeah.
I was actually between. I was gonna kind of shift it between what I actually thought Donald was gonna also be here, but he's not. I'm between a 1.5 and a 2.
So like a 1.75.
Yeah.
I'm
leaning towards 2 because I didn't think it was.
And this is out of 5, for the people that don't know. This is because Letterboxd, app. Which if you don't, just quick plug for Letterboxd. If you don't have it, get Letterboxd. We're both on it. It's really good. Keep track of your movies and get started with movie reviews and stuff. Maybe one day you'll start a podcast. I'm gonna go 1 out of 5. I'm gonna go one star out of 5. And it's been, I'll tell you, it's been a long time since I've given a 1 star. I've given like 1.5s and 2s out. I think fairly recently. But it's been a long time since I have done a 1. I really just, I don't even know, man.
You want to get into spoilers of the movie and everything?
Yeah, let me just look up.
I think the only...
Okay, so there are 5 movies.
Yeah,
I have
given 1
on
stars.
Letterboxd. There are only 5 movies that I've given 1 star to, and I'll throw it in here. Well, now 6. That is Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2019's Hellboy, Tusk.
Oh, Tusk, yeah.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. Shout out to our buddy Anthony there. And The Fanatic, which after seeing this movie, I wish I gave The Fanatic more.
Okay, that's a bit much.
No, because The Fanatic was enjoyable to watch. It was an awful movie, but it was enjoyable to watch. Maybe not the way that we watched it, but it was enjoyable more than this, I would say. All right, so we're just going right into spoilers here. I really don't have much to say, but everything I have to say is negative, except one thing.
You have a list of critiques?
No, it's just all it's just all in my head. My so the one positive so we're in full spoilers here. The one positive that I will say is I think that the style of this movie, I think this movie has some really good stylistic intentions. I think like for example, this full spoilers. There's a scene where, it's like everybody's like in this underground like mob meeting type thing, where he's like this guy showing off the power pill.
Sorry, real quick. These directors, the biggest things they did before this, they did Paranormal Activity 3 and 4 and Nerve. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, okay, yeah, I know what Nerve is. So there's this scene where they're like, it's like this underground thing with this mob, and like they like give this girl a pill and like put her in this like sensory chamber, or like this chamber that can like adapt to contain whatever power there is or something. And then Jamie Foxx goes down and like basically, we're in full spoilers, kills everybody. Like he just goes in and just kills everybody because he's trying to get the information he needs. He gets it. There's like this huge shootout and everything, but the entire fight is done through the perspective of the girl in the tank.
You like that?
Okay, this is what I would say. I think in a better movie that would have been executed much better, and I would have liked it. I think it was very muddled. You couldn't really tell what was going on. That's why I say stylistic intentions, because I think the execution on that style was very poorly done. I think there was that's what I was talking about in the non-spoiler, where I was like, maybe this movie is like in that tank scene, that fight, I was like, oh, this could be cool if they're doing this whole thing from this perspective. But it just didn't do anything for me. Like I just felt, and that we're just talking about one scene in the movie. That's the only positive thing that I have out of this. But yeah,
so
what did you think about that scene? And then go for some more.
That scene, I thought that was the stupidest shot I've ever seen. Actually, I'm exaggerating. I thought that was so stupid. I was like, why are we not showing Jamie Foxx beating people up? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm here to see Jamie Foxx, not this person, like, dying from taking this pill. And basically, for some context, is they give her the pill in the chamber, and they set the heat in the chamber so that she doesn't. Her superpower ends up being that she's
like cold, like she's like Killer Frost, or
she can like freeze things and stuff like that.
Yeah. Frozone,
and
that type of thing.
Yeah, and so basically the chamber like breaks. I forget how it like goes out all whack. So then she's like freezing to death, and basically the camera's just panning, showing her dying, and Jamie Foxx is fighting people in the background, and we're not even. They're trying to show Jamie Foxx fighting people from inside the chamber.
Yeah, they're trying to do it like from the girl's perspective.
Yeah, but all the glass is frosting over.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant when I said like it was so muddy and like muddled, because I was like, this would be cool, but I can't see what's going on. Like I physically can't see what is happening. Like
you can't see Jamie Foxx beating people up, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
to me.
You can't even make out what's going on. Even when the fighting stops, because the whole time it's a circular tank and it's like panning around. Then at one point it stops, and then he's like beating up the main guy right up against the glass. Even there, you can't see it because the ice is like forming over the glass, and it's like, why are you not wanting to show this? Like, I get the cool shot. Like, if it was like 30 seconds of the fight, because this is like a 2-minute scene that we're talking about. If it was like 30 seconds of the fight was from that shot, and then you like start it out, and then you cut back to it after like a quick shot of that would be cool. Like, that would be fine. But the entire like 2.5-minute fight scene, okay, for example, let's just say, okay, just a quick analogy. Winter Soldier elevator scene, but the whole thing is from a helicopter's perspective looking at the elevator from outside the building. Like, that's basically what we're talking about here. Like Jamie Foxx is an action star. You want to see him do action. Like, you can't see it.
He's more than that. He does a lot. He does drama, and
No, obviously, yeah. But in this type of a
movie, for Christ's sake,
in this type of
not
a movie,
in the movie, but
yeah, I wish he's saying.
There's a few cameos. We got MGK in there. We got Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat, I don't even know why he's like.
MGK was in that movie? I didn't even see him.
Yes, he was the guy who burst into flames. He was the flame guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In the beginning.
What's it called? I definitely saw what's his face though? Casey Neistat. That was like I was like, all right, really? I was like, he was in the same scene by the. It was his girlfriend who was in the tank. With the ice
I've never seen
powers.
I've never seen Limitless, but I know the premise, and this reminded me of that. I didn't get so it's like. Did they ever okay, so like for example, one thing I maybe I missed it while I was watching it. Did they ever specifically say that you get the same power every time? Because when I heard about this movie, I was under the assumption that it was something random every time.
I'm trying to think. So they don't explicitly say in the movie, but also we should mention, I just threw up the picture of the cast. We also should mention that, I know you mentioned in the cast list, but just talk, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the co-lead in this movie. And he is just, I feel like he is awful in this. I feel like he's terrible in this movie.
I thought Dominique Fishback was good in it.
That's the girl?
I actually didn't think anybody was like bad in it. Like I thought everybody was
I genuinely think that it's the worst performance of everybody's career. Yeah. I really, really despised this movie. But the powers thing, so in this, you said Dominique Fishback. That's her name. That's the girl. That's Robin. Okay, yeah, Okay, I will say this: I've never seen her before in anything. For a kid actress, like being like in an adult type movie, she was really good. I'll say that she was much better than you think about like typical kid actors. You know what I mean? Like oh god, this is like kill me now type thing. I think she was really good in it. But
like for example, like there's a few like plot things that I thought were like just didn't make sense. Like when he gets MGK's phone after he kills MGK, he texts Robin, who is Dominique Fishback's character, and she thinks she's texting with MGK's character, and he goes, can we meet? And she goes, where? And he goes, same place, same time. And then he just appears like in the place they're supposed to meet. So I'm like, how does he know where to meet her?
Well, no, because she sends him an emoji of a church and a chicken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that answered my one question.
Yeah.
My other question, I think I had more, but I'm just going off what I remember. When he's tied up in that chair, and when they're on the ship.
Oh, at the end?
The
okay,
big,
yep.
Where does he get the pill from? Because his hands are tied. So how do you get his pill in his mouth? Did I miss this?
The
Did I look down?
He like convinced the guard to untie him.
But and he put it. But
I think he
so
had it
in
in
the
his
time
mouth.
he was,
I think he
how
had
long
it.
did he have it in his mouth for?
I don't know, man.
He was unable
know.
to. He was able to not swallow that pill for. It seemed like half an hour, maybe.
Listen,
longer.
man, it's a hard pill to swallow.
It was funny because I watch movies or even TV with subtitles because I always feel like I miss something when they're just talking and I'm not reading it.
I don't. I watched this movie with subtitles. I couldn't keep
thought
track.
I thought it was very funny when so basically again with the premise, Jamie Foxx is trying to get his daughter back, okay?
Oh.
His daughter was taken by this company, or is it the government or the company? A company.
It's both. It's the government working with the
Both.
company. The government is the company. I don't know.
And basically, you meet like the kind of the final villain, in a way, is this woman. She's I don't think she has a specific. This is my other question. Does she have a specific name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Because on the subtitles it just says woman, and I was like,
yeah, it said "woman
okay.
screaming" or something in the subtitles.
And I looked at IMDb, and her character's name is Gardner. I was like, I don't remember them saying that at all. I must have missed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
But like going back, sorry, we're really jumping around here. But like going back to Joseph Gordon-Levitt when he takes the pill, and basically Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is a cop, and basically he's taking the pills because he's trying to level the playing field. So he's like, if the criminal is going to be able to take this and get powers, then shouldn't I be able to do this and try to even out our fighting? Mm-hmm. And he's like, so he takes the pill, and you don't know what the effect is. Like, it kind of shows you like a quick effect of his skin. And I'm like, okay, what was his power? And then he just runs into the bank to try to stop the robber, and he chases the robber out of the bank. And they get into like this tussle on the street, and I think he throws Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character to the ground, and he takes out a gun and shoots him in the head. And in that moment, you find out that his superpower was that he is just really hard. He is invincible skin, I guess.
And he's also superpower. Like, he also has super strength, apparently.
So when he ran into the bank, I was like, does he know what his power is?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier, but I sidetracked myself. The first scene where you see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he has like this standoff. It's like this joke in the movie that he's like got this Clint Eastwood routine because Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the cop. And it's like this joke in the movie that he's got this like Clint Eastwood routine because he's like trying to intimidate these kids who are about to take the power pill. And he says to him, have you ever done it before? Do you even know what your power is? So that's the only line in the entire movie that I could find that says it's the same power every time. That's the only thing that indicates that it's the same power every time, is when he says, like, have you even taken it yet? Do you even know what your power is?
Even they say, like, they say in the movie, it's like, oh, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, he says, well, you could explode. And it's like, okay, so if you already know what your power is, are you not going to explode?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Because the other thing that this reminds me of, that this premise reminds me of, is, this is going to sound weird, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Out of the Shadows, from 2015, 2014, whatever. Yeah. The like Johnny Knoxville one, like the Michael Bay TMNTs, the second one, with like Megan Fox and stuff. In that movie, Bebop and Rocksteady are two humans that they basically, the whole point of that movie, the whole subplot of that movie, is that it's a scientist who creates this injection that this is like this movie is awful. It's a scientist that creates an injection that brings out the animal ancestor within you, and that's kind of like what this movie was doing. Yeah, was like, all the superpowers are based on abilities that animals have like adapted or mutated to have. Like so, like a Wolverine frog, like basically Wolverine, like or it breaks its own bones to make like these like
Mhm.
sharp things, and like you see somebody has that power later on.
Yeah.
And then like or thermal like control over your body, like the people that can like do the fire, like Machine Gun Kelly, and Ice, like that girl. But that's basically like what this movie was trying to say, was that like everybody has like an animal mutation in them that like the pill awakens. Like it made no
Yeah.
sense whatsoever. But
Yeah, I wrote
that's
down like
I guess why is like
I wrote
if you
down
have a
so it's so it seems like you have one power and you don't know till you try the pill for the first time, but there's a chance you might implode.
yeah, because I think the idea is that like if you don't have a power like within you or something, then
Hmm.
like you have like a bad reaction, you explode.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I took out of it. But like we said, the fact that we're grasping at straws at this is not a good indication of the movie. The movie should have
Yeah,
explained
I
all of
just
this.
uh oh my god. I wrote down this like just I wrote this in caps, but I don't know where in the movie it is. I wrote down just like Frozen. Is that like do you remember is that like a line? I feel like they say that at one point and I literally rolled my eyes.
Oh,
Because I want to
maybe.
say God, I
I
wish I
kind
wrote
of
down.
tuned out when he was talking about that girl getting the frost powers. I kind of tuned out.
Yeah.
He probably said that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I mean honestly, do you have anything else you want to say
Well,
about this movie?
real quick, did we whatever happened to because remember that there was that woman that wanted to buy the pill from that seller in like the private meeting that we were talking about?
Yeah.
Remember that what happened to her? Did she die?
Yeah, she got what's his name
Okay.
killer.
She
Yeah.
got oh, okay. Um there was another thing that I wanted to say. Uh
Jamie Foxx killed her.
they took a shot at the response to Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I caught that.
ooh, yeah, that was
Oh,
heavy-handed.
got him.
Yeah, he
I
said,
wrote down
and by heavy-handed, I mean Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes, "You remember the last time New Orleans had to rely on guys in suits to get the job done?" Like it was like wink, wink, get it? Hello,
yeah.
like
Um,
get out of here. I like could,
um,
I couldn't even deal.
I
with
did
that
write down
scene.
that I feel like Jamie Foxx is like Tom Cruise, where he just does not age. Is that just me?
Yeah, look at this guy. Let me throw him back up on screen. Look at this guy. He looks younger than Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. Um,
Oh
uh,
man.
I just, I don't know. I thought that shot of him when after he takes after like the final battle scene where he takes the pill and where he's laying on the ground and it's a shot of him through like the concrete, like you know how Breaking Bad does that like glass scene where Vince Gilligan will put cameras in different really weird places and get a shot
Yeah.
doing that. There was a shot of him laying face down on the ground and you were looking at him from like if you were under him. I just thought that was like I just didn't really get the point. Like I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I
Well,
mean by
basically
like it was going for style that it could not
Yeah.
achieve. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't a good enough movie to pull off the things that it was trying to pull off.
I wanted to like I don't know.
You
I wish
wanted
was
to
good.
like it.
I wanted to like it.
Yeah,
I
you
just
wanted
didn't.
to like
I
it.
just-
I thought I was
I
gonna
had
like
too
it.
many- I'm opposite of you where I think people that are in the movie are good.
Mhm.
They're good acting wise. I didn't like the direction and I did not like the script and I did not like the story. Basically what I said, quick final thought. I said it's a cool premise, but it lacks rules in my opinion. And
Yes,
the
definitely.
very uninteresting plot that doesn't really make much sense to me.
I'll say my final thoughts for this. I'll go through and I'll just say this to me smells of, and I thought this during like while watching it. This to me smells like the movie of the week of old. You know what I mean? Where it really doesn't really matter. It's just a medium budget with some good level actors in it. Just really everybody's just kind of there for the paycheck, and it's something to watch. But I would not. So We try to every week, but sometimes we discuss on this whether you should watch it or not. I would say don't waste your time, even if you have a
Don't
Netflix
really bother.
subscription.
Yeah.
Watch Umbrella Academy season 2 instead, or season 1 if you haven't seen it yet. Which immediately I have 20 minutes left in the season 2 finale of Umbrella Academy that I hopped on here to or paused it to hop on here. Then I'll watch it after. I think also just a quick plug. I think we're doing an Umbrella Academy review on Planet Hero at some point. I gotta wait for Donald to watch it, or if he's fine with me just talking about it by myself. But yeah, I don't even waste your time, even if you have the Netflix subscription. Honestly, it's a 2-hour movie. Like I said, there was a time where I looked and I was like, "There's 25 minutes left. Like, why is this 2 hours? This is not even."
Yeah.
This does not need to be 2 hours. This could literally be 85 minutes, and that would be fine. 75 minutes even. Seriously. Or just no minutes at all would be even better. Yeah, so I think we're done with spoilers. We're done with the review. I think. I'm sorry. Was there anything else you wanted to say? Apart
No,
from that,
I
or no?
didn't. No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. I mean, it's just a mess to me. I don't know. All right, so now we have a bit of a actually fun topic to discuss in shooting the shit today, which is everyone's gearing up for DC Fandom coming up on the 22nd of August. So that's going to be on Saturday. It's a 24-hour event, so it'll actually be Saturday to Sunday. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull up the website here and let's go through and just talk about what we are excited for, what we're expecting from the event, if we think there's going to be any surprises or anything. I'm getting it pulled up here. So what do you think? Let's just start off. What is one surprise that you are looking forward to happening or that you think is going to happen?
I think what I think is gonna happen, because I don't know if you said this or whatever, but that most of the panels are only like 20 minutes, right? Something like that, or even 10. Is it 10?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I could have sworn I saw like on an outlet, on some YouTube video or something, that I think it was the John Campea show actually. That the panels were like 10 minutes, or most of them were.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this right here. Actually, I got it pulled up.
Yeah.
Let me switch over to. I got the schedule up next to you, so you can keep talking.
Okay.
But I'm just showing off the schedule. Yeah, they look like they're like 20. Maybe 25 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, I think the Snyder Cut one is longer, I want to say, and there's one unannounced panel, like there's like a special announcement panel, I think. That I think is going to be Henry Cavill coming back as Superman in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how. Either it's another movie or he's just doing cameos or something like that. I feel like it's going to have to be. I feel like they're going to have to do another one. You think they're going to? I think they're going to do another.
You think it's going to be Man of Steel 2?
Yes.
Are you talking about this 6:50 p.m. to be announced? Yeah.
Yes.
And it's in the Hall of Heroes too one. That's like the main movie one that they're doing.
I think that actually this is kind of unrelated real quick. We didn't touch on it in the news or anything, but it's DC related. I do not think there's going to be, I'm just going real quick to it. I don't think there's going to be any news on the game, the Suicide Squad like game type thing. Or no, I'm sorry. The Batman game.
Whoa. Hold up. I'm sorry.
What?
Hang on here. Let me just pull myself up. What is this? This is not a 24-hour event. Everything after 10 o'clock is just an encore replay. What? Literally everything. They're just okay. All of this here is just an encore of everything before.
Yeah.
And then, no, it's still an encore here. Wait a minute here. What is actually new? It's literally just one. Oh my gosh.
You've been bamboozled.
This is ridiculous. Here. Can you pull up? Go to
Yeah,
DC can you go to schedule.dcfandom.com? I don't know if you have to make an account first. I don't know,
I hope
um,
not.
but what's it called? Literally from 1 p.m.
Yeah.
to from 1 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So
No, I have to
7.
make an account. I'm not doing
Okay,
that.
yeah, don't bother. But from 1 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So that's
Mhm.
only 7.5 hours. That's it. That's the entire DC Fandom event. Everything else is just a repeat of the first 7.5 hours. It's just the same 8 hours repeated 3 times. That's why they call it a 24-hour event. What the hell?
Um.
I'm sorry. That's just like soured the whole taste. I thought this was gonna be like crazy.
Oh, so they do. Okay, they have a Suicide Squad. I'm just looking real quick. They have a Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League panel. I see that. But actually, what I was referring to was the new Rocksteady game that people are assuming is going to be a new Batman game. You
Mhm.
know, that's Rocksteady, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't think that'll be there. Maybe.
Really?
I. Do you think? I mean, where would it go though?
Right here, first up,
Wait.
Warner
The
Brothers
game at
Games.
Montreal. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Sorry.
that's
Never mind.
definitely,
Then it
yeah.
will be there. I apologize. My
Yeah,
bad.
because they've been teasing
Um,
that hard this week. Did you see all the tweets and stuff?
Yeah, real quick. I hate that. Just tell us what it is. Stop giving us like just
He said, "I don't
then
want
tell us what the
to.
game.
I don't want to code. I don't want to go to a
Like
website."
literally, I saw that it was like, okay, now come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day. It's like just give me the trailer if that's what you're gonna give me.
Yeah,
We don't need all this like I get it, they're trying to build hype, but they've been building hype since Arkham Knight. They put Arkham Knight out. It's like, okay, what's
over
the next
5 years
game?
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't need all that. Um but I do think the Snyder Cut panel is only I'm assuming the panels don't like they all over I'm assuming they overlap, right? Or not? Or no? Like I'm assuming like Snyder Cut of Justice League then leads into Black Adam, correct? Or do you think it would be they go simultaneously?
So okay, so I know you don't have this in front of you, but
Well, I did know I have it on IGN, so I do have it up.
okay, do you see like the different rooms?
No, I don't see the rooms. No.
Okay, so on the actual thing, so this is just like for those who have never gone to a oh, I don't even have it up on screen. Hang on. Okay, now I have it up on screen. So for those who have never been to a Comic-Con, this is like almost exactly how like the digital Comic-Con schedules are laid out. Like up here, it's you can like add this to your own personal schedule and stuff. But these are the different rooms. So there's Hall of Heroes, which is like the big ticket items. Then there's Watchverse. I don't know why they went with verse. I mean, I get that it's like multiverse, but that's a terrible naming structure. It literally is Watchverse, Uverse, Funverse, Insiderverse. Sounds horrible. Anyway, they need to work on their branding. So like right here, though, Wonder Woman 1984 panel, 1 p.m. Then you go over to the Watchverse, 1 p.m. The Flash panel, but CW The Flash. So there are going to be panels going on at the same time, but I think it's per digital room, if you want to call it, air quotes. So it's like the Wonder Woman 1984 panel and the Flash panel will be overlapping, but the Wonder Woman 1984 panel will not bleed into the Batman game panel. That type of thing. You know what I mean? So like each room is its own set schedule. But the things in each room are not gonna run into each other.
Yeah, so I think sorry, kind of retreading what I said earlier. I think the unannounced big announcement is going to be that Henry Cavill is coming back for Superman because I feel like I just feel like he's not done with that character, you know?
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about right here for those who are looking on screen, right here in the 6:50 p.m. spot right before the Aquaman panel. They're doing a CNN Heroes. Oh, CNN Heroes, real life heroes in the age of coronavirus. Interesting.
The Joker put on a happy face.
Whoa, where do you see that?
That says 4:45. It looks like.
Oh, you're right. That's got to be like a featurette.
Yeah,
Right?
probably something like that.
What is this? They're doing a Chris Daughtry performance? What is this thing? This is going to be so weird.
I mean, the only other things I'm like interested in are the game announcement. The Warner Brothers Games Montreal announcement, the Suicide Squad game, the Batman, and then Snyder Cut and the to be announced, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's really all I care about.
The only things that I really care about are the CW shows, and even in that, the only ones I really am gonna watch the full panel of is Flash, Black Lightning, Legends. That's it.
What do you think Do you agree with me about the big announcement? Do you think that's what it's going to be?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I 100% think it's going to be Cavill. I think he's going to cuz they're all pre-recorded, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be a big thing where like he comes out live dressed as Superman like
Yeah, do you think if it was live, do you think they'd even have the Flash one on there?
What do you think
for the movie? Because of the whole Ezra Miller thing.
Yeah, no, I think they would still have it because I mean that was definitely recorded like a week ago. You know what I mean? Like these things weren't recorded that long ago.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about this? What if they came out the gate with just a very generic, not by the director of the film or anything, but just a very generic, but what if they just blew us all away with boom, here's a teaser trailer for Man of Steel 2. Like, what if it was just Henry, I'm just saying, just Superman, like, walking down a hallway or something. Like, you know these trailers, how they don't need to do anything to get everybody to lose their mind. But I think that would be way more effective than just having just having somebody be like, oh, we got a special guest joining the Zoom chat. Henry! Like, that, you know what I mean? Like, if they just did a shot of, it doesn't even have to be Henry in the suit, but just if there was just a shot of Superman walking down a hallway, and then they put it up on the Warner Brothers account on YouTube, and it was just like an 11-second thing, and it just had the Man of Steel logo and said 2. Like everybody would lose their goddamn mind. Yeah. I 100% think that is what the surprise is. It's just a matter of how they're going to execute it, I think.
Yeah. Do you think they'd be like, if they were to announce that they're making another one, do you think they'd be like, and Zach's coming back to do this one? Or no?
I think that they would not I think they would not announce a director yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that they would not announce a director. Unless it's like a pick that they're like super confident in, and it's like I just think it's too murky right now and too early.
I don't believe they've said this, but do you think we're getting a trailer for the Snyder Cut at that panel or no?
I think so. I think it's pretty clear off his Twitter that Snyder's been working every single day on it. My guess is job one was making a trailer. I also think I think the two things we're gonna get out of the Snyder Cut panel are because all the cast and everyone, they're just gonna be like, we're so excited, guys. I think maybe a big surprise would maybe be a video message from Ben Affleck saying that he's excited to like see something.
That'd be cool.
But I think what the two main things that we're going to get out of it is I think we're going to get some sort of a trailer. And I think we're going to get an announcement on whether it's going to be a 4-hour movie or like a 6-episode TV show split up. Because that's what Snyder said in the original thing was, right now it's just kind of a loose thing. We don't know. It could be, that's specifically what he said. He said it could be a 6-part TV event. It could be a 4-hour movie. It's really up in the air. I think we're going to get a concrete answer on that, and I think we're going to get some sort of a trailer from the Snyder Cut.
I mean, from the list that DC or Warner Brothers released, it seems to be packed. Like everybody's going to be there. Like everybody from every movie,
Yeah, but it's like the Democratic
I mean, again, it's pre-recorded, so it's kind of like
the DNC last night and this whole week. It's like they're like Michelle Obama, everybody in it, but it's like Bernie Sanders, but it's like they're talking for like 4 minutes. You know what I mean? Like same thing like here, like look, the introducing Flash panel. It's literally 10 minutes. Like, and I don't even think it's going to be that long. It's probably going to be like a 3-minute animation waiting for the panel, like panel about to begin, and then it'll be like a 5-minute clip or something.
So, again, sorry, probably should cut this off like really soon, but the Suicide Squad game, do we know if that's like a Avengers type thing?
That is so awesome.
Like what they're doing with
We
the
have
game?
absolutely no
Nothing.
other
Okay.
information on that yet. Although it's done by Rocksteady.
Both game? Oh wait. So
Both
Rocksteady's
games.
not doing.
No,
what
no, no.
we think the new Batman game?
Rocksteady is definitely doing the new Batman game. It's just
Okay.
this is also by Rocksteady, so
Okay.
it'll be the same type. God, could you imagine if the Batman in this game is the Arkham Batman? Like the first time we've ever seen him out of context? That would
I
be
just
so
want another
cool.
Batman game, man. They were so good.
I know, dude. It's been 5 years. It's nuts.
Ugh. All right. Well,
But damn, yeah, that I'm excited for that Suicide Squad game. Oh, and Will Arnett is hosting it. He's hosting the panel.
of course, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So all right. So that'll do it. We got looking at the live counter right now. We got 3 days, 15 hours, 11 minutes, and 0 seconds until DC Fandom
Right.
kicks off. So that's a little teaser of what we're expecting from that. And then who knows? We're definitely going to be doing a DC Fandom recap show on Planet Hero on Thursday the 27th. We'll see if maybe TJ wants to hop in on that show, and it'll be our first, 3-man show for Planet Hero. So remember, stay tuned. Thursday this week, Thursday the 20th, is going to be our inaugural episode, me and Donald, of Planet Hero. It's going to be our deep dive and review of the full series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the series finale this past week. And then the week after that is going to be our full recap of DC Fandom. We're definitely going to talk about if there's going to be big news coming out of DC Fandom. But we'll talk about like the movie end of things and everything that's big on this show next week as well. But the Planet Hero episode is going to be the full deep dive. We'll dive into the games, into the TV news, into the movie news, everything. But yeah, I think that will do it. Again, let us know the final order this week. Tweet at us using the hashtag or the @PlanetFilmPod. Email the podcast at planetfilmpod@gmail.com. Let us know, what are you most excited for the DC Fandom event coming up this weekend? Let us know. We can discuss that, talk about what everybody's most hyped for. So with that, I think I'll close it out, and I'll say on Twitter, I am @PasteEatingYak. And as always, my name is Sean Monk. TJ, do you want to give them your Twitter handle and close out?
Yeah, at Twitter, on Twitter, I'm @TJ_Cornwell, and of course, I'm TJ Cornwell.
Awesome. And again, like we say every single week, always remember to live your life 1/4 mile at a time. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.